Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Need I Say Myrrh, the Christmas podcast. And today I'm delighted to welcome as our special festive guest, Ewan Jones. Hello, Ewan.
Hello, Adam. I nearly called you Andy then. That's a bad start, isn't it? Not like I've known you for years and years.
Okay, we could edit that out, but we're not going to. So it's good to welcome you. Do you want to tell us briefly who you are, where you are, what you do?
Yeah. I'm Ewan. I'm Ewan Jones. I'm a pastor in Bedwas in Bethel Baptist Church in South Wales. So I've been in Bethel for about this is our 5th year in Bedwas. So we moved in that fateful few months before lockdown kicked in, and we've been working hard in Bedwas since then. So it's me. I say we because it's me. I'm married to Rach, and we have 2 kids as well, Arthur and Kitty.
And you also have an interest in music. And this Friday, from when we're recording this, you've been involved in an album that's coming out that will be out by the time the podcast comes out. Do you want to do a little plug?
Yeah, shameless plug. So Josh Matthews, amazing singer, songwriter, Bridgend based, South Wales based. The album comes out this Friday, which it will be long out by the time people hear this podcast, I guess. So it comes out 17th of November. It's called This Is a New Beginning. And it's kind of a bit of a labor of love for me and Josh. We've been working on it for a couple of years. And so it's lovely to see it kind of see the light of day. A couple of singles have come out and had good reception. And so, yeah, that comes out now. So if anyone likes music and wants to check it out, then This Is a New Beginning by Josh Matthews. If you don't like it, it's Josh's fault.
But it's not a Christmas album though, so I can't let you do any more of a plug. No. That's enough. But it's good to have you on to chat about Christmas, and I'm very pleased that you could join us. We've got some questions that I'm asking every guest on this podcast, starting with, what is your favourite festive food?
See, this is so you sent through the questions, and I was thinking about this stuff. I realized actually I'm a bit of a Scrooge. I realized, having volunteered to kind of be a part of this, I'm actually not the biggest Christmas fan in a way. So Christmas food, I was thinking, actually, for me, do you know what? I don't even know if it counts as a Christmas food, but it's duck. A duck, like a roast duck. Because there's hardly any time in the year where you eat duck. And like, it feels like it's a step down from the goose, which I think is like that Charles Dickens kind of the Christmas goose. But do you know what I mean? Like a good roasted, fatty, greasy. So it's the anti-turkey, because turkey is dry and dull, and like there's no taste, there's no flavor. The texture is fibrous, but the duck is succulent.
We had duck a few years ago at Christmas. This was probably about 7 years ago. We found there wasn't much meat on the duck.
Did you just get one like from the park or something? You need like
you get yours from a shop.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, as I say, because it's a kind of Christmassy kind of thing, it's like I'm not a duck expert. I alive or dead. I like in terms of the prep and whatever, I do a bit of basting and stick it in.
Make sure it's dead.
The oven and see what comes out. Yes, not quacking. I don't eat the beak. And there's just, I don't know. Duck is a treat. And like, if anything, Christmas Day, with all the work and all that effort and all that kind of stuff around it, a treat. Like if Rach said to me Christmas Day, I'm sorry, everything else has burnt, you know, everything's done, everything's gone, but the duck's all right, I'd be just, look, that's the best. That's fine. We'll just sit and eat a duck. I don't need any of the other stuff around it.
But with a duck, without having less meat, you don't get the joy of so many Christmas leftovers, though.
That's true. Although I think the other advantage, I guess, maybe of the duck is that in my family, I would be the primary duck consumer. So I think I could probably eat my fill of Christmas duck and still have enough for a curry or something. You know, I could do that. It's not about quantity; it's about quality. Would you rather have one massive turkey and eat dry meat for a week, or would you rather have one beautifully prepared duck, but it only gives you 2 days of juicy goodness?
It's a commonly asked philosophical question, isn't it? And we do welcome correspondence on this podcast. So please be in touch. So let's chat about music though. And you are, as we mentioned, you are a musician and you listen to a lot of music. And I'm wondering what your favourite non-religious Christmas song is.
See this, yeah. Again, though, this was really hard. So I realized that actually, when it comes to Christmas music, I'm one of those kind of Scrooges who's like, I'll walk out of shops. You know, if the song, if like the Paul McCartney one comes on, or if I hear, yeah, it's Christmas, I'm like, okay, we're going. What did I decide in the end? Let me just, okay, here's what I decided. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Okay. Judy Garland singing it in the film Meet Me in St. Louis. So it's like 80 years old or whatever. The original version of that song that she sings in that film, it's really melancholy. So I think what I realize is that I like Advent almost as much as Christmas. The waiting, the anticipation, and that sense of, okay, we're in the dark spot, but the light's coming. And her version of that, it's not like the jolly Frank Sinatra one that he did kind of 20 years later or whatever else. It's, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. The original lyrics, I think, was something like, it may be your last. Yeah. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Message. It may be your last. And the filmmakers kind of came back to the songwriter and said, can you jolly this up a bit, mate? And so he tidied it a little bit for the sake of people not coming out of the cinemas weeping. But it's a really lovely little scene in the film. I won't spoil it or go on about it, but that Judy Garland singing that. But yeah,
you mentioned films. I'll ask you about films as well, because when I first came up with the idea for this podcast, someone did say I should ask people what their favorite Christmas film is, and for various reasons I didn't want to do that. But because I know you are, as well as a big fan of music, big fan of cinema, I wondered what your answer would be of your favorite Christmas film.
So you didn't want to do that because you just get the debate about whether Die Hard is a Christmas film.
That's
I can imagine that was your primary reason. So I'm staying well away from that. It's obviously Die Hard 2. And my favorite, okay, what qualifies as a Christmas film? Has it got to be set at Christmas? It's got to have snow. I don't know. So my favorite Christmas film is without a doubt It's a Wonderful Life. It is probably like the film I've seen the most, and I must have seen it 7-8 times in the cinema, which is, always like a privilege. The lights darken and the RKO logo comes up and you're transported for 2 hours. I love It's a Wonderful Life, and it's one of the few films, because I'm, dead inside. It's one of the few films that can bring me to tears. But actually other than that, the film I actually think of as my Christmas film, there's this great tradition, even within Christianity, of the ghost story, the Christmas ghost story. And so actually the film I often watch Christmas Eve after everyone else has gone to bed is The Others, a ghost story from 2001, something like that, with Nicole Kidman. Really powerful, amazing, interesting film about faith and life and death. And it's a great kind of Advent tipping over into Christmas kind of film for me. So yeah, okay. I don't know. That's not,
the correct answer to the question is Muppet Christmas Carol. I don't know what your views on that film is.
So my views on Muppet Christmas Carol, I really enjoy that film. I really like it. Michael Caine as Scrooge, and the jokes and whatever else. My kids hate the Muppets. In fact, more than they're terrified by them. I think they find something quite uncanny about them. If I'll sit and watch a ghost story for a little bit of a chill down the spine at Christmas, there's the M.R. James and the Arthur Machen, just this tradition of ghost stories. But if I want to terrify my children at Christmas, I'll put them up. It's Christmas Carol on.
Okay. Let's come to decorations. And one of the other questions I'm asking everyone, your least favourite Christmas decoration. Now, given that you are a self-professing Scrooge, probably you hate all of them. But out of all of the ones that you hate, which one do you hate the most?
They're a massive inconvenience, aren't they? I think tinsel. More than tinsel, we had this one. We called it the string balls. I don't know what it was, but it was like little metallic balls. About people can't see it, about the size of marbles, and they were all attached on a kind of bit of wiry string, and they were red and glittery and green and silver. And we'd bought a few of those, and they were a nightmare in terms of getting tangled on the tree. But also, after about 2 years, they really smelt weird. They smelt bad, and like I've never had Christmas decorations that go off before, and so I think like tinsel was a thing. I just don't like aesthetically. I don't like tinsel. A gaudy, weird kind of I don't like that. But these string balls kind of stick. I don't know what they were really called, but they stick in my mind as absolutely the most atrocious Christmas decoration we've ever had. No, just because you shouldn't smell your decorations. You shouldn't walk into the room and kind of be repulsed. What's that? Oh, it's not the beautiful smell of fresh pine. It's just these rotting string balls hanging from much. I don't know what was going on with those. No. So that, I mean, they would be the thing, but I've never seen them since. I mean, maybe they were recalled by the manufacturer.
Yeah, they've been banned in the EU.
I want to live in the time. And again, fire hazards aside, I want to live in the time where, if this was ever actually a thing where people would just put actual candles on their tree, it doesn't seem like good common sense, but I love a candle at Christmas. That, you didn't ask me what I would like, but that's what I would like. No, down with all the glittery stuff and the shiny stuff and the smelly stuff, and just set my tree on fire, go out. It'd be beautiful.
When you're not setting fire to your Christmas tree, obviously you'll be spending some of your time thinking about the heart of Christmas and the story of the birth of Jesus, and you'll probably be preaching some stuff about that at some point. I'm wondering, who is your favorite person in the nativity story, not including Jesus?
Oh, okay, because everyone's made the Jesus joke. I think I was going to say Quirinius, the governor of Syria. I think it's Joseph, man. It's Joseph. I really like for Joseph. He's this, I think, slightly oblivious dude caught up in the middle of all this stuff that's going on. Mary is the obedient one, and she's just the kind of the gold star of the story. Joseph he comes home one day and he's like, his betrothed is like, I'm pregnant, and he's just, okay, bombshell drop. What do I do with that? I love that he tries to honor Mary. I love that he doesn't quite know what to do, but doesn't want to get her into trouble either, and tries to think through, okay, what's a way I can, deal with this in the cultural setting that I find myself in? How can I, not dump my wife in this? And then when the angel visits him and he's like, okay, I will just trust and obey in this situation. I love his care for Mary then, and the idea that as a couple, when people around town are like, oh, Mary's pregnant, he knows that he will be just as much the subject of gossip as she will, and that their family unit, even after Jesus is born, is going to be the kind of the talk of the town, and the dirty little secret. Oh yeah, of course, the Holy Spirit was and so I really like that Joseph is a guy who just goes, I'm going to stick by my wife. I'm going to raise my family well. He makes the impossible decision to take them down into Egypt when, Herod's killing all the babies. I'm going to take my family. We're going to be refugees. I just think what a good example of a humble guy, an honorable guy. And then I think I love as well, and I'll shut up then. I love that you don't really hear about him again, that I guess at some point, what people think, he probably died maybe when Jesus was an older child or a teenager. We just never come across him again. So God used him in that time to be a good, humble, loving, patient, brave, ordinary guy. In fact, and in that sense, all the characters like that become sort of extraordinary, don't they, in their obedience and their courage and stuff like that. But I just think, I got time for Joseph.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, thank you for joining us, Ewan. It's been great to have you.
Thanks so much, man. Really fun.
And I was going to say, hope you have a happy Christmas, but you don't like Christmas, so hope that your Christmas just...
Dude, I need a ghost story and a duck, and I'll be fine.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!